Hi students. In the bond parameters, the second one is bond angles. Here how we can define the bond angle. It is the angle between two bonded atoms and the central atom. Suppose this is B and this is C for example. And this is a terminal atom and this is terminal atom and this is the central atom. In between these two bonded atoms and the central atom, the angle between these two is called as bond angle. So the bond angle values, how we can determine or how we can calculate means it depends upon different factors. Bond angle values depends on different factors. In this first factor, if you are taking hybridization, so it depends upon the concept of hybridization. We gave the hybridization concept, and basing on the hybridization concept, we give the bond angle values for sp hybridization. If it is having only lone bond pairs only, what is the bond angle we gave? 180 degrees. And for sp2 hybridization, it is 120 degrees we gave. For sp3 hybridization, we gave 109 degrees 28 minutes. For example, I am having BeCl2, I am having a BF3, and I am having a CCl4 for example. And in these molecules, if we see, beryllium chloride undergoes to sp hybridization, this is undergoing to sp2 hybridization, and this is undergoing to sp3 hybridization. Central atom is undergoing to different hybridations. So what happens here? sp hybridization means 180 degrees. Here it is having a 120 degrees. Here it is having 109 degrees 28 minutes. So what is happening? Because of the change in hybridization, the bond angle value decreases. So only hybridization concept is considered, and basing on the hybridization we have different bond angle values. For sp3d, sp3d2 also we have different bond angles. Okay, that is the first fact which influences the bond angle values of the molecules. And second one is number of lone pairs. Number of lone pairs present on central atom. Present on central atom. Please remember, this is central atom. Number of lone pairs present on central atom. Here, if the number of lone pairs present on central atom is considered, then here, for example, we are having CH4 molecule and we are having NH3 molecule and we are having H2O molecule, and we know that CH4 carbon atom valence is 4, it is bombed 4 bonds, so no electron pairs on the central atom. But nitrogen valence is 5, so it is forming 3 bonds, so nitrogen has one lone pair on it. And oxygen atom is central atom here, it is valence is 6, sixth group, and so it is forming 2 bonds, remaining 4 electron pairs. 4 means 2 lone pairs are present on the oxygen atom. And if the hybridization is taken, all are having same hybridization, sp3, and here it is sp3, and here it is also sp3. Means the hybridization is same here. All the three are having same hybridization, but they differ in their number of lone pairs present on the central atom. So because of lone pairs, what happens? As per the Vesper theory, what we said, lone pair repulsions are more than lone pair, bond pair repulsions are more than bond pair repulsions. So whenever we are considering the repulsions between the electron pairs, this lone pair repulsions are much more. Whenever the repulsions are present, what happens? The bond angle values changes, and here only bond pair repulsions are present, and so it is 109 degrees 28 minutes. Here there is a lone pair bond pair repulsion, so it has 107 degrees. And here this is lone pair and lone pair bond pair repulsion. Because of this, it is having 104.5 degrees. So please remember, whenever the number of lone pairs increases, simply on the central atom. Please remember, on the central atom, if hybridization is same, whenever the number of lone pairs increases, bond angle is what happening? The bond angle value decreases. If hybridization is same, the number of lone pairs increasing, then bond angle decreases. Next, third point, electronegativity of central atom. Electronegativity of central atom. Even if they contains lone pairs, there is a different types of central atoms and having hybridization or whatever it may be, if electronegativity of central atom is considered. You please remember one more point, electronegativity of central atom and size is inversely proportional. Means, for example, I will give some examples. H2O and H2S when you compare. Here H2O means it is having two lone pairs and this is also having two lone pairs on it. And here two bond pairs are present. What is the bond angle here means 104.5 degrees, but here the bond angle is 92 degrees only. Here, what is the central atom? Hydrogen and oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen is the central atom. Okay. And here the sulfur is the central atom. If you check the electronegativity, oxygen and sulfur, which is having most means oxygen definitely, because it is the second most electronegative. Oxygen is second most electronegative element. Second most electronegative element, and so sulfur definitely has lesser than oxygen. Or in a group from top to bottom, what they said in periodic table, in a periodic table in a group from top to bottom when we go, electronegativity values decreases. So here if electronegativity is checked, oxygen has higher, then what happens because of electronegativity? Whenever the electronegativity is more, then these bond pair electrons are attracted. Here in the bond, there is a pair of electrons. The bond pair electrons are attracted more towards the central atom. Here also, electronegativity, if suppose more, it attracts. But here this is more, this is less. So whenever there are bond pair electrons are attracted, suppose I am giving here C, these red caps are considered as the bond pair electrons and these are the bonded atoms. So the bond pair electrons are closer, then what happens? There is a repulsion between them. Okay, so like these are the bond pairs. When these bond pairs are away, the repulsions are less. When bond pairs are near to the central atom, the repulsions are more. When the repulsions are more, they move away. When they are moving away, then bond angle what happen? Increases. So what is the angle between these two atoms means? It is 104.5 degrees. But here in this what happen? Here also it has two lone pair and two bond pair. But sulfur electronegativity is less. When electronegativity is less, what happen? The bond pair electrons doesn't move close to the sulfur atom. They are not very close to the sulfur atom. Means here bond pairs are like this only. They are not like this. So when they are away, the repulsion between these electron pairs are less. When the repulsions are less, then they will try to come closer, then the bond angle value decreases. So here the bond angle is 92 degrees. Okay, so whenever the electronegativity of central atom is more, then the central atom will try to attract the bond pair electrons also. So they come closer and they have more repulsion, so bond angle increases. In the same way, if you are taking NH3 and PH3, ASH3, SbH3, in these molecules also, all are having only one lone pair, but Here it is having nearly 107 degrees, it is 93 degrees, it is 92 degrees, it is 91 degrees. So why? Because is here nitrogen has the highest electronegativity. The electronegativity, it is the third most electronegative element. Second most is oxygen, third most is nitrogen. So the electronegativity gradually decreases, so the bond angle values decreases. Okay. Electronegativity of terminal atom, that is the next point. Here I am taking OCl and here Cl, here it is OF and here it is OF. So, in this chlorine atom and here fluorine atom are the terminal atoms. When chlorine and fluorine is taken, fluorine is the first most electronegative element. It is the third most electronegative element. Oxygen, nitrogen and chlorine have nearly same. So, whenever the terminal atom electronegativity is here, oxygen is second most electronegative element now. So what happened? This pair of electrons are near to this, or this pair of electrons, lone pair repulsions are more, or here chlorine is having more repulsion because of bigger size also. Electronegativity and size I said clearly in the inverse proportional. Whenever here size increases, then the repulsions increases. So here it is having 110 degrees, whereas a fluorine atom is more electronegative, the bond pair will be away, so they will try to come closer without repulsion. So here it is having 103 degrees near. So the electronegativity of terminal atom increases, the bond angle decreases. Okay. Next one is bond energy. Then sometimes or in some books may be given as bond formation energy or bond dissociation energy. Bond dissociation energy. Both are almost same or nearly same. Okay. So for diatomic, homodiatomic molecules, it is same. For heterodiatomic or heteroatomic molecules, it is nearly same. Bond energy means suppose you have A and B. In between to this, if your bond is dissociating, the energy required to break this bond is called as bond energy, or bond formation energy means to make a bond between these two atoms. So it is difficult to calculate bond formation energy than to calculate bond dissociation energy. Means we can calculate the bond dissociation energy easily than bond formation energy. And next, factors affecting bond energy or bond formation energy. So bond energy factors, here the factors which influences bond formation energy or bond energy, in this first one is atomic radius. Here if the atomic radius is taken, what happens? Bond energy is inversely proportional to atomic radius. How means? We can say simply HF, HCl, HBr and HI. Okay. In this, fluorine is small in size, iodine is big in size. Whenever size increases, the overlapping of atomic orbitals is less. A small person and a large person is trying to hug. What happens? There is no correct hug. So, like here, a small atom hydrogen, a bigger atom iodine is trying to overlap to make a bond. So, this is becoming a weak bond. So, it can be dissociated easily. So, whenever atomic radius is less, then bond energy is more. That is the first point. And second one is a bond order. Bond order, or it is also called as number of bonds. Number of bonds or bond order. Here number of bonds are bond order. Suppose C single bond C, C double bond C, C triple bond C is present. What happens? In this single bond C, in childhood also you studied a story, when we have only one stick we can break easily, two sticks we cannot break easily, 3 sticks, it is very difficult. Like that, number of bonds increases, the bond energy values increases. That is simple one. And next, third one is electronegativity difference. Delta En means it is electronegativity difference. Same, we can take this example only. HF, HCl and HBr and HI. Here fluorine hydrogen 2.1 4.0. Here it is 2.1, it is 3.0 or 3.2 for example. Then electronegativity difference is more, then it makes a strong bond. Means it is directly proportional. So bond energy and electronegativity difference are directly proportional. When you have more electronegativity difference, then it makes a strong bond and has more bond energy. Okay. Fourth point, here percentage of S character. Percentage of S character. Here, when we are taking C single bond C, it is sp3 and this is also sp3. Okay, here it is C double bond C, then it is sp2, sp2. C triple bond C, then it is sp, sp. Percentage of S character is here 50. Here percentage of S character 33.33%. Here it is 25% only. Whenever percentage of S character is increasing, the bond energy values increases. So bond energy and the percentage of S character are directly proportional. Okay. Next, fifth point. Here, number of lone pairs. Number of lone pairs on the bonded atoms. On the atoms, either central or bonded atoms. Here, suppose carbon-carbon bond is present. Very best example. The next one is nitrogen-nitrogen bond is present. Here, nitrogen can form 3 bonds and 1 lone pair is present. Next is oxygen-oxygen bond. It forms 2 bonds and 2 lone pairs are present. Whenever there is no lone pairs, what type of repulsions can exist? Here there is only bond pair repulsions. Here there is a lone pair, bond pair repulsions. And here there is a lone pair repulsions also. So whenever the repulsions are more, then that bond becomes unstable. So which is more stable means whenever bond energy and number of lone pairs are taken, lone pairs less in number, then bond energy is more. Okay, please remember this. When number of lone pairs are less, bond energy is more. Next one, resonance. Bond energy is directly proportional to resonance. Why? Because is due to resonance, bond energy increases. Generally, whenever there is a benzene ring, suppose here there is single bond, double bond only. Mean this bond energy is less, this bond energy is more. But if it is in resonance, the bonds are relocating, means it is continuously changing between the two atoms. So what happens? This is getting a partial double bond character, and because of this nature, the bond dissociation is not easy. So due to resonance, always bond energy values increases. So these are the different factors which favors bond energies. Okay. There is one more exception for this. Actually, chlorine bond energy is more than bromine bond energy is more than fluorine bond energy is more than iodine bond energy. Because of the more repulsions and small size, remember two reasons are there. Small size. The first reason is small size. because of small size and more inter-electronic repulsions. Means lone pair repulsions. We can write lone pair. This lone pair repulsions. There is a decrease in the bond energy value. And the same effect is also observed when we are having oxygen means sulfur is having more bond energy than oxygen. So these two values, please remember. In this, generally we think small size fluorine atom has more, but here fluorine has lesser. This is exceptional cases.